All right, Evan Carmichael. So I know that you say that the biggest problem that we have on this earth is that people don't believe in themselves enough. Do you think that this lack of belief is why people get lazy?
What an opening, Brett. Well, great to be here. Looking forward to an insightful conversation. And that's a question.
Figured
What
I'd
an opening
throw you
question.
right in the deep end
Yeah, I
there,
like it.
Evan,
Say that back to me again. What's
So,
the question?
so the question is, and I know that you certainly, your belief is the greatest problem we have is a lack of belief in
Yep.
ourselves.
hmm
Do you think that a lack of belief is what leads to some of us being lazy and less proactive towards our goals and our dreams?
So, I mean, the easy answer is yes. I mean, of course, if you don't believe in yourself, you're less likely to follow through. Um, Laziness isn't something I usually talk about. I think I don't think people are lazy. Just fundamentally, I think people just don't have goals that inspire them.
Okay.
We've all had lazy moments, lazy days, lazy weeks. Like there's been people would look at you and say, "Oh my God, Brett's got it all figured out." But you've had lazy days where you didn't get anything done. You've had moments where you wish you were more productive. I mean, me too.
Plenty,
Um,
plenty of those. I have a feeling I probably have more of those than you.
I mean, I have a reminder to myself, even on my cell phone. I don't know if it's going to show up. Probably not. But it says like, remember. Oh, I went blurry. There we
Oh,
go.
don't worry. It goes a little blurry sometimes. Don't worry about it. But when we download the clip, it clears out.
Really? It looks like it. Okay. It looks like it's focused on my background. There we
Oh,
go.
there you go. There we go. Now you're in focus.
Okay. I won't look away. The back of my cell phone says, remember your intention. And a daily reminder to myself is just remembering the thing that I'm supposed to be doing right now. And it's so easy to get sidetracked. It's so easy to get lost. It's so easy to get caught up in whatever. An email comes in, social media, self-doubt, like lack of belief, as you said. But I don't believe in lazy people, which is like when you said the question, can you say that again? Because that just wanted to try to get the intention behind the message. I think people just don't have goals that inspire them. And we've all had moments where we had goals and we felt unstoppable and like you're chasing them down. Like, where did all this momentum and energy come from? And we've also all had moments where we're not inspired and we're not doing what we should be doing and we lack belief. And so I think belief is definitely a part of it. But I just don't think people are lazy. I think for the most part, they have goals that are not inspiring for them and they don't keep those front and center.
Sure. Yeah, I can hear you there. And I like that on the back of your phone, remember your intention, I believe you said there was what it
Yeah.
says in the back of your phone to kind of keep you in line. Take us through your intention setting process for the day. Do you sit down the night before, list out your goals for the day? Do you time block out your entire day? Like, what does that look like tactically for Evan Carmichael?
Yeah, I'll take a quick peek the day before, like the night
Okay.
before going to bed. But I still wake up every day and it's like, what am I supposed to be doing today? What time is it? Where am I? What day is it? Especially now, I just got back from a whole bunch of travels. Like, what country am I in?
Sure.
What's happening? Um, so I need a reminder. Even if I look at it the day before, I still need a reminder the day of. And my usual process is I'll wake up, go to the bathroom and look at my calendar. And my
Right.
calendar is a reflection of the day that I want to be living. And so I put everything in my calendar. I spent time with my wife is in my calendar. Going outside and going for a run is in my calendar. Because I think we will often plan the things for our business, we don't plan the things for our life,
Sure.
and that leads to an unintentional life being lived. And so I try to make my calendar um, a reflection of the life that I want to be living. So I do different things on different days. I find that is the most valuable way for me to stay on task and stay productive. I can easily get sidetracked, and I mean everybody can, I guess, to some extent.
Sure.
Multitasking, for the most part, doesn't work. But I find a big energy difference if I'm going from talking to you to then having to go write my book to then going to. It's just it takes me way too long to shift gears, and so I try to do similar tasks on different days. So we're recording this on a Thursday. I don't know when this actually goes live, but Thursday is my public facing day. And so as an introvert, it takes a while for me to get going
All right.
in terms of making content, getting in front of the camera, even though I've done it 10,000
A million
times. I
times.
mean,
Yeah.
it's been at least 10,000 videos over the years. It's actually
That's
like
wild. That's a lot
legit
of
a lot
footage.
of videos. But I still, have anxiety around it, being an introvert. But then I stack it. So like you're getting the result of all the other stuff I've already done today. And so like,
Sure.
all right, I'm ready, Brett. Let's
You're
go.
in the
What do you got?
flow. You're
Ready
ready
to
to
go. But
rock.
I did not wake up like this.
Okay.
I did not wake up ready to go. And so I like having different days for different things. And so today is my public facing day. So it's all just interviews and podcasts and trainings and talking to people. And I find that really helps. Every day of the week, I have a different intention. And that's what I try to remind myself of in the morning.
Cool. I think I saw a video of yours where you kind of talked about the themality of your days, and I think Monday might have been your team day at that point, right? And could you
It
actually
hasn't really changed much like over the years.
could
You
you
want to break it
could
down?
you break it down real quick if you
Yeah.
could for us? I
So
think that'd be useful.
Monday's my mentoring day, and I spend the day mentoring the people on my team. And so
Okay.
I'm on all day calls. Most of them are 25 minutes on, 5-minute break, 25 on, 5-minute break. And the break lets me go to the bathroom, get some water, like whatever I need to do.
Sure.
We've got 63 people now on the team, and
Cool. Very cool.
They collectively do way more than what I do I might be the single most important person, I guess, but like they do way more than I do in the business. So mentoring and training. Tuesday is my YouTube day. And so I spend the whole day doing YouTube stuff. It could be filming, it could be looking at thumbnails, analytics, data, planning, strategy, all around YouTube.
Okay.
So my team knows to try to save the important stuff for me on a Monday when I'm talking to them. And unless it's urgent, which we don't really have, like I try to run a no crisis business. Then Tuesday, I'm just all in on YouTube. Wednesday's my project day. So Wednesday's a day where, we have all these to-do lists and idea lists and all these things that we want to work on.
Sure. Plenty of lists.
Yeah. Like never find the time to actually go and do anything.
For sure.
About it. Yeah. That's Wednesday. And I think if you don't have time in your calendar to do that stuff, it actually makes you start to resent the work and feels like you just bought yourself a job. And so I like having a day in the middle of the week to focus. It's just open. Like, what do I want to work on today? I'm going to pick something from my list that I feel aligned to, and I'm going to make it. Thursday is my public facing day, which is, today. And so it's, I usually start with my own training. So we have Movement Makers or Brandlytics. Those are my two communities that I created. And I train with them in the morning because it's family. So it's like a soft setup. Sure. And then just the rest of the day, interviews, podcasts, nonstop. And it's so like Tuesday's a crazy busy day with YouTube. Thursday's a crazy day with interviews. Wednesday's open. And so it's I like having that space in the middle of the week to just be more free.
Sure.
And then Friday's my CEO day. So that's bigger picture stuff to help build and grow the business. What does it look like to be the CEO of your business, and like put that stuff on your calendar for Friday?
Super cool.
Again, like we mostly don't spend time focused on that. What's the intention? The intention is to be the CEO of my business, not just in it. And most of us don't have time in our calendar where that's ever planned. And so, hey, guess what? You never actually be the CEO of your business. You're too much in it. Saturday's fun day. So that's fun with the wife, fun with the family. Could be a street festival, could be the party, picnic, go hiking, whatever, something fun to do. And then Sunday is family admin day. So go to Costco and look at new furniture and clean up the house and like whatever. And the thing is, like, when you don't have days like that, at least for me, things will bleed into each other. So
sure, 100%.
Saturday, hey, why don't we go shopping on Saturday and get some chicken at Costco or whatever? I'm like, no, that's a Sunday thing. Like Saturday, we're here to have fun. How can we do this fun today? And so I find that, at least for me, that helps me stay on track to living the life that I want to live. And then inside each day is broken up into a bunch of different tasks that are both business and personal.
Yeah.
And I live by my calendar. I mean, it super helps if you want.
I respect it. I really do. And I think that's something probably a lot of entrepreneurs could do. I know I could do that better myself. I think sometimes I'm like, filming a video from like 10 to 11, and then I'm doing some research, then I'm working on a project, and then I'm talking to my team. And I think if I were to compartmentalize that, and theme my days as well out as possible. And of course, sometimes there'll be fires you have to put out once in a while that you can't really foresee. But I do think, theming your days could really just kind of help us all to just get more done, really. Because just that task switching, like the mindset involved in, running the data and business planning for Q4 is a much different mindset than being camera facing and performing. They're just totally two different wavelengths, right? And if you could really, theme out your day where you're camera facing one day, you've got that vibe going on. And then maybe one day you're the CEO and you're just kind of thinking about your business and not working in it. I think that is like, that's something a lot of entrepreneurs could benefit from. But I do want to ask you though, because you're obviously a guy that has a full calendar every day. He sticks to that calendar. And I think that some of us entrepreneurs, we struggle with that a little bit, right? Like maybe we love making the plans. I know myself. I love making a plan. It gets me pumped up, getting my calendar out and time blocking out the next day, hour by hour, I'm going to do this, this, and this. But then sometimes something throws me off in the morning. Let's say like I've got to help with my son who's 2 years old. I've got to, take him to school because my partner is not feeling well. And now I'm behind a half hour and my time blocks are all messed up. And then I kind of wind up almost like throwing the day away partially. Like I don't give it my all at that point. What advice would you give to entrepreneurs that make plans but struggle to stick to them on a regular basis?
Yeah, so it's really important to understand the reason why you're struggling to stick to them. If that's happening consistently, and like, hey, 3 out of 5 days of the week during the work week, you're like being pulled aside and having to deal with your kid, like make a better plan. I mean, that's not factor that in that, hey, you need to be there in the morning and deal with that. And if you have extra time, that's a bonus. But like that time you thought you could have to run or read or work out or whatever is like, it's not really there. So you can make better plans. In the moment, what I try to do is not give myself an out. And so like, what did you miss this morning? And use that as your opportunity for a comeback. Because you're not throwing the whole day away, but even if you throw like half a day or a quarter of the day, self-belief comes from those little wins that you get every day, not 100%. From some giant thing, right? So if you get set back in the morning, you were supposed to do your workout, but you don't because you gotta, your son is sick or whatever. Like I need to find a way to work out that day, even if it's not my best workout, if it's not like the full whatever you would normally spend, but I got to find a way, because that's where self-belief is made. Like, what do you allow as the reason for you not to follow through? Now, there might be some extreme circumstances. There might be, like somebody goes to the hospital and you're spending the whole night there. I mean, that happened with my mother-in-law recently. And so like, did I follow through on everything? No. But are you proud of the reason why? Like that ultimately is what it comes down to for me, if we're looking through the lens of self-belief. You didn't do your thing, but are you proud of the reason why? And if I say, yes, I'm at the hospital taking care of my wife and her mother, I'm super cool with that reason why I didn't work out or get back to Brett's email or like whatever, right? I'm proud of that reason. Most of the time though, we're not proud of the reason why, because you could have fit it in. Like you could have done something, right?
100%.
We could have done something. And so that's where like, okay, so you could have done something. Instead of beating yourself up tomorrow, do something about it today in some small way. And it may not be perfect, but it doesn't have to be perfect. The point is, this is just an inside game. I had a guy come to my, I did an event in, it was like Pittsburgh or Columbus. It was super cold. This giant storm came through and he had this cold shower a day routine that he was doing. And the heating went out in the building. And so he was at his girlfriend's place and there was no heat. And he comes to my event at night and says, I didn't do the cold shower today because the heat was out. Now it's kind of cold all day. Is that okay? It's like, that's not, I mean, I can't answer that question. Are you okay with that? Like, are you okay with the reason why you didn't do your cold shower today because it was cold all day? And he's like, no. It's like, okay, well then go home and do a cold shower. And then he like sends a video or like behind the curtain.
Hopefully behind the curtain.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Of like him freezing in the shower. But like, that's the best. It's like when you come back from something, you are about to let yourself off the hook and then you don't, and you go do the thing. That's when you start getting to a new level of self-confidence, self-love, self-belief, because other people will let you off the hook and say, Brett, it's okay. You don't have to. Like, look at all you've done already. Like that's only a superhuman would do that. But like, that's the whole point. We want to be a superhuman to ourselves.
I like that a lot.
If you're not proud of, like most of the time, you're not proud of the reason why. And so go off and do it. But that's what I would use and do use as the filter.
Cool. And I totally agree. I think that is where the growth happens, right? Is when you're doing the thing that you know you should be doing because it's pushing the ball forward towards your important goals, but you don't feel like doing it at all. Like that's the moment where the transformation actually happens. So I think the more we can kind of tweak our minds and see those moments as really the greatest moments of opportunity that we have, the more that we can get ourselves to do those hard things on a regular basis.
Especially if we're on a show called Persistence Playbook.
Well, this is the type of conversation that we like to have here, right? Because I think a lot of people, maybe they know what they should be doing, right? They've watched 5 online courses on exactly tactically what they need to do to achieve their goal, but they still struggle with resistance to work. They still struggle with laziness. They struggle with the self-doubt. They struggle with executing on their plan on a daily basis, which is why I love to talk to people like yourself who have kind of figured it out to an extent, right? Like, how to make a plan and how to execute on that plan. Even on those days where you don't feel like doing a damn thing, you still do the damn thing. And I think people really need to know how to do the damn thing on those days where they don't feel like doing it. And I'm curious, like, what's your inner dialogue look like on a regular basis? Like, do you coach yourself throughout the day? Do you speak to yourself in a you perspective, an I perspective? Like, what's the Evan Carmichael self-talk look like throughout the day?
So I talk to myself a lot, not out loud, but in my head.
Okay, cool.
And I have trigger word, like you said, lazy again, and then my whole body wants to
hate it,
jump to the camera and strangle you. Like, not actually, but it's a trigger word for me, right? I just do not accept laziness as a reason for anything. So
I'm into it.
Like if my son says lazy, it's like that's not a good, because it's an identifier. It's right. Like, I am lazy. Like, there's no way you are lazy.
No, you're a human being.
Feel motivated right now, but you are not lazy. You are not a lazy person. And so part of that helps. It's like, if you can identify what is the story you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm too lazy to do that, I'm too whatever, and use those as trigger words. So for me, it's scary, difficult, or hard. I guess I can add lazy into that group too.
I think you definitely can.
Yeah, I need to add lazy there.
I can see when I say lazy, I can just see what it does to you. It like sends shivers down your spine. It makes your skin crawl.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like it, man. But it's not a word that I use personally. So, but like scary, difficult, or hard would be the ones like, why are you not, whatever your next goal, why are you not making a video? Why are you not making that phone call? Why have you not started that business? Why have you not whatever? There's some reason that we all will say. Mm-hmm. And the scary thing is like, it's pretty much the same thing each time. Like, why didn't you do that? And why didn't you do this? And why didn't you do that? It's usually the same excuse in our head. It's the same story. So for me, it's scary, difficult, hard. Oh, that's too scary. That's too difficult. That's too hard. That would be what I would say as like why I'm not following through on something.
Sure.
And so it's like learning to catch that. And what it does is shortcut the decision making, because your brain will convince you that, yeah, it is too scary, it is too difficult, it is too hard. You are lazy. Like, your brain you sit with it long enough, you'll usually talk yourself out of doing something, not into doing something.
Sure.
And so it for me is like, if that's a reason for me to do something, then I have to do it just because I want to teach myself that I do difficult things. And so the fact that it's difficult is not a good enough reason. So
you'll catch yourself mentally. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll catch that.
If I say it, if I write it, if I talk it, if I'm thinking it, anything like scary, difficult, hard become trigger words.
And then you'll coach yourself off the ledge.
Not even like, just go do it.
Just go do it.
It's got to the point where whatever that thing is, now I have to do it just because, even if it doesn't serve the mission or anything else, like just because. Because I want to train myself that it's not an acceptable reason. Right. Now the hard part is catching it, because most of the time you're feeling it, but you won't even catch the dialogue, and so you're just. I think we play small by default.
For sure, 100%. Right?
Like, everybody's like me, Tony Robbins, whoever. Like, we play small by default, and so most of it is subconscious patterns. So how do you turn the subconscious to conscious? Well, whatever you actually can catch it, you get better at then catching it. But the worst thing to do, I think, is to catch it and then not do something on it, right? Like, to catch it that, oh, I didn't do my workout today because of X, and now I'm going to throw away half my day. And that's okay. And that's like standard operating procedures. Like, that is what I want to try to crush in myself. It's like, no, that's not okay. I'm going to find at least some way to take some kind of action. All that matters is if I'm proud of myself at the end of the day. I have a thing I call the pillow test. Like, before you put your head on the pillow at night, are you proud of the effort that you put in today? The effort, not the results. Like, you might try a whole bunch of stuff and it all fails. So you do a podcast from Riverside and the whole thing crashes and it's gone, and total failure. But like, the effort, are you proud of how you showed up for today? Because if you show up every day and you're proud of yourself, you will go off and accomplish amazing things. But if you're not proud of yourself and you constantly are going to bed not proud of yourself, that leads down to a very destructive path. And so like nobody can tell you if you're doing a good job or not. And you know, the people around you, a lot of times, and probably people listen to this pod, like if you're listening to Brett, you're probably the most ambitious, most positive, happiest person in your circle. And you're the one pouring into other people. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening. You'd be listening to some toxic, like this celebrity news fight against somebody else, right? If you listen to Brett, you're probably that positive person for the people around you. And that's awesome. Keep doing that. And like, who's pouring into you?
Good point.
And so those people might be telling you, oh, you're doing Brett, you're doing so much, man. Like, Brett, you're doing such a great job. You've already held these people on. Like, just slow down and relax and like, take it easy. Take it easy is another one. Dude, I have to hold myself back because it's such a common way to end the conversation.
Right. You don't like it.
Like, hey, take it easy, man.
You're like, I'm not taking nothing easy. I'm doing hard stuff. I'm doing legendary stuff over here, brother.
Yeah. Like I don't tell me to take it easy. Again, these are trigger words for me, and I'm sure we all have our own versions. But the intention for the most part is is positive. It's just something, but it's things that people say. Like take it easy is a common thing that people say, right?
Super
Who
common.
says like go be great? Like nobody. And so that's what I want to try to create, at least in myself, and be around people who are thinking that as well. So if there's anybody that I'm around constantly or on any kind of consistent basis, and they say take it easy, like we're having a conversation around language and what that means.
Fair enough. Don't worry. I'm not going to send this off in 5 minutes. So take it easy. I wouldn't do that to you.
I was debating whether you're going to actually now end it as a joke, and then
I might actually now. We'll see.
I may never talk to you again.
Well, come on, man. Us bald eagles. We got to stick together, Evan. Come on, brother. So you mentioned a second ago about the people that you hang around and the people that you keep within your circle briefly, and I know I've heard you speak about just how important it is, right, to keep positive, ambitious people around you, because, that type of energy is just going to kind of infiltrate you via osmosis in a natural sense. But I'm curious, do you specifically try and hang around with ambitious, driven people, or are you okay with someone who's just a good person, who's maybe not trying to do great things with their life? Like, how do you choose the people that you hang around with on a regular basis?
So I may be a little weird on this one in that, I don't just hang out with people. So yeah, like I don't like let's hang out on Sundays. Like, what are we doing? No,
what's the goal?
What's
the goal?
Yeah, so I know we're kind of getting tight on the time, but there was a video I made on Shah Rukh Khan. I don't know if you know him. He's like the king of Bollywood, like the Tom Cruise of Bollywood.
Okay.
And we did a top 10 on him, and he was saying at the end of his video, he finished filming, and his actors would always ask him, hey, do you want to, let's go party, we're going to hang out at my place, whatever. And he's like, no. It's like, I love you, but I connect with people through the work. And that was the first time I heard it. That's like, oh, that at least it resonates with me. I think it's a super weird thing that most people don't have, but I connect with people through the work, through the projects, through the things we're doing together.
I
don't want to just hang out, which again is super weird. And I have to tell people like, okay, but like, what are we working on? What are we doing? Like, no, we're just going to hang out. It's like, oh no. Yeah, I'm good.
So I won't invite you over to watch the game. I'll invite you over to work on a project. But are you going to hang out with me if I'm just like a normal guy living a normal life who doesn't really want to do extraordinary things? Are you going to take time out of your schedule to hang out with me if I'm that guy? Just curious.
Yeah, but like, I don't hang out with anybody.
Not hang out. Are you gonna help me build my deck if I'm just a normal dude?
No, I don't want to build it. I suck at building a deck. I don't do normal dude stuff. I don't know. You don't want me to help you build your deck. I don't know what I'm doing.
Fair enough. So you're going to hang out with someone if they're like, hey, help me film a great YouTube video.
Yeah, let's
this
go.
Saturday.
You want to make content? Yeah. You want to strategize your channel?
And that'll kind of almost naturally just put you with people that are very ambitious, trying to do similar type things as yourself.
Yeah. And my filter isn't around a certain word. It's around the feeling. It's like, how do I feel? I don't know how ambitious you are. I don't know what you're trying to do with this podcast. I didn't have you fill out like some form or something before we went live here of how ambitious are you as a human, Brett? Fill out this. It's just the vibe. It's like, how do I feel? I have more energy coming out of this podcast than coming in.
Let's
That's a good
go.
sign.
Let's go. Then I
Let's do
did my
round two.
job.
Exactly. Round two, right? Let's do round two, right? Versus others where like they might be a good person, but you're feeling less energized than when you came in. And so I want to spend less time with that person.
Love it, dude. Dude, thank you for taking the time today. I'd ask you, like, where can people follow you and keep up with you? But you've got 4 million followers on YouTube. So I'm pretty sure everyone's already following you. So I'm just going to say thank you for taking the time. And I appreciate you, brother.
What episode number is this for you?
I think we're creeping up on 90. I think this might be in the 90 range, somewhere in there. So we're creeping
90?
up. We're creeping up on the century mark. And
And how often do you do these?
we're dropping 1 a week. We're going to go to 2 a week starting in November. And I just love it, man. I get to talk to guys like you and pick your brain. And I got to say that the video you sent out before we met, kind of on how to some things to keep in mind during the interview. One of the things you mentioned really resonated with me. Ask questions that you are interested in, not in questions that your audience might like. Ask the questions that you want to know the answer to, and that'll make the overall interview more valuable to everybody. I thought that was a great point. I'm going to take that forward with me, brother.
Yeah, even like you make it more personal. You turn it into a coaching session. So like one of the things I struggle with is blank, and then that's way better than. So a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with blank, right? Episode 250. I'm coming back,
dude. I'm going to hold you to that.
Okay, when you're getting close, message my assistant just so there's a little bit of warning, and we'll line it up for 250. And can't wait to see how much you grow in that journey.
250 is going to be lit. Evan, thank you, brother.
Much love.
Take care, my friend.